Women will treat you differently if you do this. Hey guys, welcome back to Keep Calm, Margo. Here is the one thing that makes 90% of men fail with women, and it's not your looks, your job or your bank account. You could have the perfect smile, drive the perfect car, wear the perfect cologne and still lose their interest in 5 minutes. Meanwhile, another guy with none of those things can walk in, say 2 sentences and she's suddenly leaning in, twirling her hair and wondering if he's single. What's the difference? It's how you show up. Today I'm breaking down exactly what makes women treat some men with more attraction, more respect and more affection. And later in this video I'll tell you the one playful move that can make your heart skip a beat without saying a single word. So let's start. When you are passionate about your own life. Passion is magnetic. When you light up talking about your goals, your hobbies, the things that make you lose track of time, we notice. It's not about being rich, famous or having everything figured out. It's about having direction. Think of it, if your life feels full and exciting before we ever meet you, we want in on that energy. And man with passion says, I'm building something, you can join, but I'm moving forward either way. From a woman's perspective, that is incredibly attractive because it means your happiness doesn't hinge on us. That attraction makes us want to be part of your world. And speaking of energy, later I'll explain why your ability to lead, even in tiny ways, makes you relax in a way nothing else can. When you lead, she relaxes. Leadership isn't about barking orders, it's about taking initiative. Planning the date instead of saying, I don't know, what do you want to do? Taking the map when you are both lost instead of standing there scrolling your phone. Saying, I've got this, when she's interested. When you take the wheel, she can stop driving the bus in her own head. Here is something most men don't realize. If a woman can truly relax around you, your walls come down. She becomes warmer, more affectionate and more playful. Research from Psychology Today shows that decisiveness is strongly linked to perceived confidence, and confidence ranks among the top 3 traits women rate as most attractive in men. When you are intentional. Intentional men stand out because most men are passive. When you remember what she said last week, follow through on what you promised. Give a compliment that shows you were actually listening. It tells her you are not just floating through life, waiting for things to happen to you. You are choosing her on purpose, not just because she's convenient. Intentionality is rare, and rare gets remembered. When you have standards. Kindness is attractive, being a pushover, not so much. When you have boundaries, when you don't tolerate disrespect, flakiness, or low effort, you set the tone for the relationship. We either show up fully or you walk away. And that quiet confidence, the willingness to lose someone before losing yourself, is magnetic. High standards aren't about arrogance, they're about self-respect. And when you respect yourself, other people respect you too. When you are grounded under pressure. Life gets messy. She wants to know you won't crumble when it does. When you respond instead of react, when you keep calm in a storm, you create safety. Not the I'll fix everything for you kind, but the I can be steady even when the world isn't kind. Studies from the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that emotional stability is one of the strongest predictors of relationship satisfaction. Calm energy builds trust, and trust builds attraction. When you are genuinely interested in her. Flirting is easy, attraction is rare. When you actually listen, remember details and ask about things that matter to her, she feels seen. Most guys are too busy trying to be impressive. The ones who show down and connect, they stand out instantly. And here is the secret: being genuinely interested in someone doesn't mean over-investing. It just means being fully present in the moment. When you walk away from half effort. If she's inconsistent, flaky, or giving mixed signals and you don't chase, instant respect. You are showing her, I value myself enough not to entertain confusion. Even if she doesn't say it, she notices. And often that's the exact moment she realizes she needs to step up or step aside. When you are respectful, no matter who's watching. How you treat people who can't do anything for you says everything. Kind to waiters, patient with strangers, calm when things get awkward. That's not performance, that's character. And women know that if you treat everyone with respect, you'll treat us with respect too, even when no one's watching. When you have emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is noticing the things most people miss. The subtle change in her tone, her body language in crowded room, the fact she is quieter today than usual. When a man can pick up on those things without her spelling it out, she feels deeply seen. And when a woman feels understood, she treats you with a softness you can't fake. When you are playful without trying too hard. Playfulness is not about being the class clown. It's about knowing when to break the tension with a smile, a tease, or a witty comeback. Here's that one playful move I teased earlier. If you can make her laugh in a moment she expected to be serious without crossing the line, it creates the electric, unexpected spark. That contrast between serious man and playful man makes you feel safe and excited at the same time. When you are consistent. Attraction gets you in the door, consistency keeps you there. If you were attentive at the start, but 2 weeks later your effort drops off a cliff, so will her interest. Consistency builds trust, and trust is the foundation for both long-term relationships and even short-term attraction. When you carry yourself like a man who knows his value. This one ties it all together. Your posture, your tone, your boundaries, your purpose. A man who knows his worth doesn't chase validation. He attracts it naturally. Women pick up on that instantly. It's in the way you walk into a room, in the way you make decisions, in the way you don't compete for attention. That's the man women treat differently. The way women treat you isn't random. It's shaped by your presence, your mindset, and your standards. You don't need the perfect line. You don't need the perfect life. You just need to show up with a direction and self-respect. Great women don't just respond to surface-level traits. They respond to presence, leadership, and a man who knows who he is. So tell me in the comments, which of these do you already do and which one are you going to work on next? And if you find this helpful, share it with a friend who needs to hear it, because the moment you start showing up differently, you'll notice, so will she. See you next time on Keep Calm, Margo. Bye!